The crisis of leadership, corruption, and the role of lies in governance. In today's world, one of the most pressing concerns we face is the integrity of our leaders. The state of society, at times, can feel as if it's spiraling into disarray. One of the most glaring issues at the heart of many of these problems is the reality that we, as citizens, often allow and elect individuals who have little regard for truth and transparency. In fact, we seem to place our trust in the very people who perpetuate lies, contributing to an environment rife with corruption and dysfunction. The election of liars. In the modern political landscape, it's not uncommon to see individuals vying for leadership positions who are skilled at manipulating public opinion, rather than demonstrating a commitment to truth and integrity. These leaders know how to project an image of trustworthiness, often playing on emotions and fear to sway the masses. Unfortunately, the truth often becomes secondary in this game of political strategy. How do we, as voters, end up placing our faith in these individuals? It is the nature of human psychology to lean towards promises of security, prosperity, and hope. However, too often we find ourselves being deceived by those who promise what they cannot deliver or manipulate the system for their own gain. We must ask ourselves, why do we continue to elect individuals who perpetuate lies? How can we change the system to elect those who truly have the well-being of the people at heart, rather than their own ambitions? Corruption as a consequence of deceit. The biggest consequence of electing liars to lead our countries is corruption. Once in power, those who lied to gain trust often find themselves caught in a web of deceit, which over time morphs into larger scandals and abuses of power. What begins as a simple lie or a manipulated fact can escalate, leading to corruption at the highest levels. In politics, the manipulation of truth creates an environment where lies are not only tolerated but are often expected. This leads to a vicious cycle. A leader lies to gain power. Their actions and power involve further deceit, and eventually, the system itself becomes so corrupt that it seems impossible to break free from. Citizens lose faith in the system and in their leaders, but the cycle continues because those in power are too entrenched to face accountability. Liars defend us. The next area of concern lies within the institutions designed to protect and serve the public, particularly in the realm of law enforcement and national defense. It is troubling to think that the very individuals we trust to safeguard our freedom and rights may also be tainted by dishonesty. Liars and corrupt individuals often find themselves in positions of defense, whether it be military, law enforcement, or the legal system. When those who are supposed to protect us engage in deceit, it weakens the foundation of trust that is essential for any society to function. If those responsible for upholding justice and national security are dishonest or corrupted, the very institutions we rely on to maintain peace and order become compromised. Liars on the judicial bench. Perhaps one of the most disturbing aspects of a corrupt society is when lies infiltrate the judicial system. The judiciary is meant to be the pillar of fairness and impartiality, where the law is applied equally to all individuals. However, when individuals with a history of dishonesty sit on judicial benches, the integrity of the entire legal system is called into question. Judges who fail to uphold truth, manipulate cases for personal gain, or engage in unethical practices undermine the justice system at its core. The result is a legal system that no longer serves the interests of the people, but instead protects the powerful and perpetuates injustice. Citizens may begin to feel that the law is no longer an equalizer, but rather a tool for the powerful to maintain control, further fueling public disillusionment. The need for change. We stand at a crossroads. It is clear that allowing liars to lead our countries, defend us, and sit on judicial benches is a recipe for disaster. Corruption thrives in an environment where dishonesty is not only tolerated, but allowed to flourish. If we are to rebuild trust in our systems, we need a fundamental shift in the way we approach leadership, governance, and justice. The first step towards change is recognizing the problem. We must demand more from our leaders, calling for transparency, honesty, and accountability. Elections should not be a contest of who can lie best, but rather a platform for individuals who are genuinely committed to the common good. We must also reform our judicial and defense systems to ensure that those in power are held to the highest ethical standards. A justice system that is free from corruption is essential to maintaining the rule of law. And ultimately, we must foster a society where truth and integrity are valued above all else. In closing, in a world where the truth seems elusive and corruption runs rampant, it is easy to feel disillusioned. But this is not a hopeless situation. The change we seek begins with us, the people. We have the power to demand better from our leaders, to hold them accountable for their actions, and to ensure that integrity is at the forefront of our judicial and defense systems. The time has come for a new era of truth and leadership. It's up to each of us to make it happen.